All right. Is it Matto? Is it Matto? Wait, now how do I say it? I said it wrong.
It's Stephanie Matto, but you can call me Fart in a Jar Girl. I'm just kidding.
I don't think you know, look, you're busy and you've been on major podcasts. I am honored that you are here today, but I have been trying to get you on, girl, for years. I've been sliding in your DMs and I know you're super busy. I think I even reached out to the TLC rep and asked about you. And I said, is she available? This is when you were like popping off farts in a jar. And I don't know, was the network excited for you or not? I'm not sure if they were happy or not about that.
I was kind of worried that they wouldn't be because it's obviously so sexually fueled. But they actually were so happy about it because it brought, I think, a new audience in. And I feel like, it surpassed the level of fame that 90 Day Fiancé brought. Not that it was like, any better. Certainly was not. Do you want to be famous for being on 90 Day Fiancé or do you want to be famous for selling your farts in a jar? It's like comparing
both.
And they're both kind of shitty.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I have a great working relationship with TLC and I do seem to think that what I enjoy about them is they seem to celebrate the eclectic. So like they don't care if you're on Cameo, they don't care if you're selling your farts in the jar. I think that's great. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. And it's good because, we need to create a source of income for ourselves. We need to make something out of, the show in a way. So it's good that they allow us. I think that they've also become a lot more open-minded in recent years, whereas certain cast members back in the day, if they had like a spicy page or were doing certain things, it was very much so looked down upon. I think now they're just like, all right, you know what? These people need to eat.
You're all on OnlyFans.
I know.
Well, we're going to get to your farts in a jar story, which made you like legendary and famous, although that's not the only thing, you've sold. But let's talk about, I want to kind of start a little bit at the beginning for people who don't know you, because you really are a genius marketer and people need to take note. If they're ever on social media, they need to follow your path. Because do you think that you're the richest former TLC 90 Day Fiancé person out there?
I think I would be if I wasn't so stupid with my money. I take too many vacations and I like shopping too much. And sometimes I'm like, damn, I should have just like invested more in Bitcoin or like bought more land, but I'm 33. I'm a millennial. I just like nice shit. So I think that's the big downfall of me. I think there's a lot of other successful 90 Day Fiancé people. As you can see, like Darcy Stacey, they must have money. I mean, they're driving around Range Rovers and living in nice houses. But I just think that out of all of the cast members, I've made the most money in the most unconventional ways.
I would love to get a comparison. I mean, I know some people, Big Ed, I know Colty, like they're killing it on, oh God, it's not OnlyFans, but they're on that too.
Yeah.
Probably. But, Cameos, they're killing it with Cameos. They're making insane money. But I have to think that you're probably up there in the top 5 of the wealthiest, but I hear you. Look, a decade ago, I had a good friend. She's such a great financial investor. And she was like, you got to buy this Bitcoin. I lived in DC. I'm like, Bitcoin? What the fuck is Bitcoin? Oh, she's like, my nephew's in it. You got to get it. And I mean, I think they were like 10 cents at that point. And I was like, I'm not buying this. You talked about fake currency? No, I'm not. I'd be like, I know how many investments we've passed up. But let's talk a little bit about, you're famously on the 90 Day Fiancé franchise. You grew up in Connecticut, but you're originally from
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Okay. And your mom is from Czech Republic, like first generation.
Yes. So I actually was born in the United States, but shortly after I was born, my parents separated and my mother was like, well, fuck you. I have a green card. Can I say fuck, by the way?
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God. Please.
Okay.
And I wanted to have you on. I've had a guy that was a porn star that's now a pastor. I have a woman that was married to a chandelier on this show. Honey, I did a Sugar Baby series. Like, I am so drawn to, because I think I'm nervous. You were talking about this. There's something about me that's always been an exhibitionist and always wanted to be like a sex worker, but I just can't, like, I don't know, mentally I can't do it. So I'm very
It's a
fascinated.
big leap. It's a big leap.
It's a
But
big
yeah, I moved to Czech Republic with my mom as a baby. My mom had married an American for his green card. So, I think I always had 90 Day Fiancé in my blood. And, I grew up in Czech Republic, then moved back to the United States when I started school. So I had this kind of double life.
Wow. And then okay, so you have this double life. And then when you're in your 20s, right, you are the first woman cast, or first person, I think, cast on 90 Day Fiancé in a gay relationship, right?
Yes. I came out as bisexual on the show, and that was up for like heavy debate. A lot of people were saying that I went onto the show and marketed myself as bisexual in order to like get clout. And, that was pretty interesting. I was not a very well-liked person on my season. And I laugh about it now because like the hate to me is so absurd because people really genuinely had this like passionate hatred towards me, but they don't know me at all. Like even on the show, I look at it, I'm like, damn, this bitch never smiles. She looks miserable as fuck. Like, but like, I'm like, but that's not me. I'm like such a, happy-go-lucky person who like always, I'm a people pleaser. I want everybody to be happy around me, but I don't know, something about that editing. Well, people always want to blame it on the editing, though. I don't want to be that person either, so I don't know.
No, people were so hateful towards you. Why? Just because they thought you were exploiting being bisexual, or just like they felt like you were
Yeah.
on there completely to self-market? What did they hate so much?
I think that they thought I was there to market myself. They thought I was there to market my OnlyFans, and they thought that I was not actually bisexual, that I was like faking it and leading my partner on. And like, I'll be honest with you, and I even talk about this in my book that I recently published. I went on to the show, yes, with some intentions to boost my following and my business. I think anybody who's going to sacrifice their mental health and be on a reality TV show should at least think a little smart and be like, okay, well, this can also benefit me in some ways. And I know that my partner on the show thought those things too. Like we both discussed, like this will be great for both of us, like for our followings. And, she was excited that she was going to get like sponsored by certain companies and get free clothes. And I was excited that like more people would watch my YouTube channel. And so I'm not ashamed of that, but people thought it was like, ooh, this love isn't real. Like it's just a show. Just chill out, people.
Oh,
You know?
no, people take it very seriously. And you're referring,
Yeah.
Erica Owens was, you two were dating on the show. And then you obviously, it didn't work out. It's been several years. You've dated other people. I think you've been engaged. I mean, do you and Erica have are you even friends? Do you even talk now, or?
I'll sometimes like, but not spy, that's the wrong word. Sometimes I'll creep on her Instagram because honestly, even though things between me and her did not end very well, I have this
Mm.
like distant admiration for her because I just like that she shares, you know, her life, her fashion. She's so unashamed of who she is. I'll always have like respect and admiration for Erica, even if like things have been said between us that are not good. I think the only thing that's been inaccurate in our story is like people painting this thing of like I took advantage of her, which I don't think so. I really don't. I think I tried to communicate my intentions all the way through, and I thought at times we were on the same page, but I don't know, we weren't listening to each other enough, I think. And I think that I rejected her on live TV in front of millions of people. And I think anybody who gets
Mm.
rejected on such a big platform is going to feel resentful and upset. Even if I don't think she like actually saw a possible future with me, I think she just didn't like that I was the one rejecting her because it made her feel like there was something wrong with her. And there wasn't. There was nothing wrong with her. We just weren't a good match.
Yeah. Yeah. Just sometimes that doesn't work out. Um,
Yeah.
then they brought you back for Single Life, which Single Life looks like so much fun. Was that, yeah, you had a good time. You were dating men. And how do you identify now? Are you still bisexual?
I am still bisexual. I don't like market myself as a bisexual online. I'm not like trying to be this, person who's shoving it down people's throats because it's just like a part of who I am that I know exists. I've dated women throughout the years, and I'm not trying to prove it to anyone anymore because for a long time after the show aired, people were so doubtful of my sexuality that I was like constantly fighting in the comments, constantly trying to prove, like desperately trying to prove that this is who I am. And I was like exhausted from it. So at one point I was like, you know what? If someone comes up to me tomorrow and tells me that the sky is green, am I going to fight with them that the sky is blue? Like, no, I know what I know, and they can believe what they want to believe.
So are you, because when we last saw you on TV on Single Life, you were kind of talking to this like French guy.
Mhm.
And wait, were you actually engaged to the YouTuber Nick Stone? Was that true?
No. Nick Stone and I were never in any relationship
Oh, that's just for
ever.
fun. Okay.
We were just trolling. We met each other in Poland for the first time ever. And we were like, hey, what if we just like told everybody that we got engaged? Because we hit it off as friends so well. And we actually became like best friends for a while. We were in Poland together. Then he came to stay with me in New York City. But the whole entire time, he actually had a girlfriend who hated me. So she hated the fact that we were pretending to be engaged on Instagram. And then shortly after, I met the French guy, and he hated it too. So he's like, this is fucked up. Like, I don't like, I mean, there was like jealousy involved, obviously. And so, yeah, Nick and I, we had to end our friendship because
Yeah.
just too toxic, for the partners in his life and my partner. It was just too much fake engagement going on. And, I don't know, maybe that'll disappoint some people that it was a fake engagement. I just find it funny how if you Google my like love history, he pops up as like my ex-fiance
He
on Google.
does. Oh, and I think even ex-husband, I think there was rumors you two were secretly married. I mean, people really were invested in that relationship, I guess. Wait, so
Yeah.
are you dating anyone now?
Yeah, so I have a French boyfriend. People think he's fake, but out of all the things I faked in my life online, he's like the one thing I haven't, like he's real. I really flew to Paris to lose my celibacy with a French dude I met on Tinder, and we've been dating for almost 3 years now. So he's legit, he's real. He'll never be on my
Wow.
socials. He'll never, be put out there. And if I tell people that, they'll be like, oh, he's hiding something. I'm like, no, he's just like an average normal dude who like has an Instagram, but like has like 50 followers and like, is a super, super low key guy. So I don't want to expose him to the 90 Day Fiance fan base or my followers, which, the other half is like men who
Love
want
you.
to see the goodies. So it's like they don't want to hear about my boyfriend.
Well, wait. When you say celibacy, because I maybe I forgot this part. Wait, did you say just French celibacy, like you never had sex with a French guy, or like you would never had sex? Or no,
Oh, damn.
wait, no, or you just were celibate for a period of time. Wait, clarify
Yeah,
for us.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was my French celibacy too, because I had never been with a French guy before.
There
So
you
that
go.
was exciting. And I don't like French accents. Like, I'm not into French guys. I've lived in New York City. I've been exposed to French people. And like the accent just like it gets under my skin. So it's kind of weird that I'm dating a French guy because like sometimes I'll listen to him and I'll be like, oh, he sounds real French. That's gonna be a problem.
It's so funny. It's funny you say that. Some accents are really grating, and I'm sure people feel that
Mhm.
about the American accent. But I feel that way about British men. I can't
Yeah.
get into a British. I don't know
Ooh.
why. I
Yeah.
know,
No.
right? Right?
Absolutely not. I hate British accents. If I hear a British man with a little like pocket square, I just want to punch him in the face.
All right, talk to me about the genius that was launching farts in a jar. Because, 90 Day Fiance is a little bit, some of these TLC shows have these cult followings, but lots of times you can go places, like a lot of people don't even know the Sister Wives, which is like their number one show. So was it after Single Life you kind of had this idea, I'm going to sell a limited edition of my farts in a jar?
Yeah, it just came to me one day. I was looking through some of my comments. I don't know if it was like on YouTube or maybe it was on my Unfiltered, but someone had requested a fart jar and they said they want to inhale my farts. And I was like, this is so disturbing. Let me do this. Well, let me roll with this because I feel like this could be the next great thing. And I even texted my boyfriend. I was like, you watch. This is gonna blow up. Like this is gonna be huge. I'm gonna sell my farts and it's gonna be it. It's gonna take me to the top. And he laughed at me, just like everybody laughed at me. But look what happened.
So, if I get this story straight, weren't you going to sell like, wasn't it like 100 jars or something for $1,000 each, and then you ended up selling them for 500? What was the? How much did you end up making, and what? How many did you actually totally sell?
So, according to my socials, it was about like $50,000 a week in sales. And like, I'll be honest, I sold a lot of fart jars. Um, but there's another side to the story that I talk about in my book that I wrote. It's like my memoir, and I kind of go into the logic behind me talking about the farts online and doing the jars, and like there's an element of it that's deceptive, that was purely for like entertainment purposes. Like, I didn't sell them for $1,000, and it wasn't the volume of farts that I claimed to have sold them for. And the whole entire emergency room visit with me like having gas pain, it actually did happen. Like that's one thing that actually happened. I did go to the emergency room like very late one night with gas pain. But like, there's more to the story. I can't really talk about it too much. So I hate to plug my book, but like the book,
Plug the book. Yeah.
the book says everything that happened. But, the farts were not like a career for me. They weren't something that I was planning to do forever. It was something to really bring more exposure to my platform, Unfiltered, which is my company that I launched about 2 years ago.
Oh my God, we're going to talk about that. But okay, so I love how, was the story true though? Because people were obsessed with this. They were very curious about how you captured the fart smell in the jar. And I had actually read or watched that you'd put like a fake rose petal basically in your ass cheeks, and would almost like kind of, we're rubbing a little here. We're getting a little bit of the residue. And then you put that in the jar and send it to these men. Oh my God.
Girl, you're an expert. Like you know how it goes. That's basically all I did is I took the little flower petal, I rubbed my butthole, and then there was actually one person who did buy a jar from like Minnesota or something. And I just didn't have a smelly butthole that week. I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't get that smell. And I even made my boyfriend test it. I was like, does this smell like farts? Because like farts smell like butt, right? And he's like, no, I'm not getting that smell. And he's French. And so he was visiting. And that night we were having raclette, that cheese, that melty cheese for dinner. So I was like, give me some of that raclette because it kind of smells funky. So I took a little piece of the cheese and I like rubbed the cheese residue inside the jar. And that's what really made it like super odorous.
So that was the secret.
That was the secret.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you had a gut feeling that was going to blow up. Because I was going to ask you, I mean, you've also, you've sold your boob sweat. Is that right?
Yes, boob sweat. Oh my God, what else was there?
Well, did
there were,
you
so
sell
many
a
things.
grave site next to you? Is that truthful for $100,000?
That was not true.
Oh,
I did not celebrate. But okay, but there's like a really morbid backstory to that story. I was looking for gravestones for my father who passed away.
oh.
And so I was like calling around and price shopping. And as I'm doing this on like one random afternoon, I'm like thinking of this story in my head, like, what if I sold a grave plot next to mine to somebody who wants to live with me in the afterlife? I'm like, that's fucked up. Let me do a TikTok. And I made like a TikTok story that was like completely like supposed to be satire. And I really thought like the way that I presented it was like so obviously satire that people would get that. But like, no, people were like, this is fucked up. And I'm like, no, it's just like, I think it's just like my fucked up sense of humor.
Okay, so nobody really bought that.
No.
People did buy farts in a jar. You do have this new book out, your memoir, which people can purchase on your Instagram, and it's called Blood. What is it called? Blood?
It's called Empty Blood.
Empty Blood. Thank you. Empty Blood. It's your journey from basically, your immune disorder, which you've talked about and we'll touch upon, to selling farts in a jar. but you're revealing a lot in this book and obviously here on the interview. Okay, let's talk about marketing. I mean, you have this like tongue-in-cheek way of saying like, some of it was a lie. What do you make of that in the sense of like, do you feel like that gives you less credibility to kind of admit some of the things that you're admitting in your book? Or do you feel like it's teaching people that a lot of this stuff that we see from celebrities is really manufactured? How do you reckon with that?
Yeah, I think everything you see online, you should take with a grain of salt. That person who's showing their super bougie luxury lifestyle with the private jet in the background, take that with a grain of salt. The girl who's saying, I made $3 million selling my toe fungus shavings. Like, I just made that up, but like that could be made up, Like it's everything should be taken with a grain of salt. And I think that, for me, social media, the internet is for entertainment. So I don't get like too invested or involved in the things that I see online. And I'm just here, I just try to entertain people, honestly. And then I have my job, my company that I'm running, that I'm CEO of. That's like, people don't even know that that's what I do. That's like my day job. I work on that every day. I travel to all the different clubs in the US to like promote the platform because we're partnered with Hustler. So, I have a day job, but like when I go online, I just sometimes will say out of pocket crazy things that I know will stir the pot or like, get people fired up. But like some of it's true, some of it's not. And I think that people should just take it for what it is, just for face value, for entertainment, laugh it off, and then move on.
Do when you do these marketing gimmicks, right, that
Mhm.
catch our attention, I mean, do they really translate to money? I mean, do you think is this a actual legit marketing strategy?
Well, I think when I promoted the whole fart jar thing, I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes to there are unconventional, different ways to make money and to earn extra income. And maybe it's not going to be selling farts in a jar, but it could be, recording yourself farting on video and selling it on unfiltered. Or it could be doing, sexy voice calls with your fans. So I think that's really what the intention was. I don't think that the fart jar PR stunt was to get people to buy more of my fart jars. It was more of like showing people that, hey, I'm the CEO of Unfiltered. I sell weird stuff here, not just fart jars, but like a whole bunch of other weird stuff. And if you want to make some extra money and you think you can do it, you can go on Unfiltered and do that too.
What weird stuff are you now personally selling on Unfiltered?
I mean, it's mostly videos now because, shipping and selling things that are physical items, it's very complicated and difficult to do online. So I'm just sticking to mostly videos. So I have some people asking me for videos of me farting. There's one in my vault of content on Unfiltered. I fart in the video. I sell it for lots of money, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Are you a gassy? You must be a gassy person in real life, right?
Actually, like I think I am. And I think my farts smell really bad too.
I actually, it almost looked like for a second you were like lifting a cheek to fart on this show.
Oh, what if I did? Oh, that'd be sick. For free too. You'd have to charge for this episode.
Don't worry, I want to launch an Unfiltered account. So okay, what do you say to people? I mean, we've seen with OnlyFans, now with your company Unfiltered, which we're going to get into. But now, I mean, more people than ever are turning to, selling sexy things. And I told you I have this idea. I've always had this idea. I wanted to see if I could make $1 million being a foot fetish model while pregnant. Just because people are obsessed with my feet.
Yeah.
And but I don't even know what to do. I don't, I mean, I'm a little marketing genius like you are, but I don't have the balls that you do yet. But
Sarah, do you have a wiki feet page?
Yes, celeb wiki feet. Sarah Fraser, I'm on there. Yes,
Oh,
and people
man.
have gotten photos. And actually, I had a fan launch a Instagram account just of my feet, but then he got mad at me because I wasn't revealing enough foot photos, so he shut it down in fury.
Oh my God, what an asshole.
I know, what some fan you are. I mean, you won't
And like, did he pay you for anything or it was just
no.
all free?
He wanted me to send him photos and he was going to repost them and tag me and all. But I'm like, dude, I'm running this other fucking podcast show. Like, I don't have time. I don't know.
Oh,
Get creative. I don't know. Take one photo of my feet and then Photoshop it 18 different ways, dude. I don't know, you
yeah.
know?
Change the nail polish with Photoshop or something. Like it's
But what, more people than ever are turning to it. But what do you say to people that still find sex work to be degrading? They feel like it's an easy way out. It's just a quick buck. Like, I mean, do you think there's any real pride in what you do?
Well, I could tell you that so many people sign up for Unfiltered or OnlyFans. They think it's going to be super easy because they see all these other girls making so much money. And within like a month of joining, they've made $0 and like they've wasted their time and they're asking me, like, what do I do? Like, I don't understand. What people don't understand is you need to market yourself, you need to create good content, and you also need that engagement with your fans. You need to promote on your socials in an effective way, bring these people over, and then get them to spend money because most people are just trying to get free stuff like your foot guy. So it's like, how do you get people to spend money and not just spend money, but consistently over a long period of time and the most possible amount of money for your content? So it's an art form. And to do
Mm.
this successfully and to do it for a long time and to make a lot of money, it's not easy. And I think only like, 10% of people will really turn this into like either a side hustle or a full-time job. Um, is it degrading? I mean, I guess it could be, just like I think working at any job could be degrading. I've worked as a bartender. I was degraded all the damn time and I made much less money. So it's like any job can be degrading, but the only thing that I really, really like about being a spicy creator is that like I can do it from home. I could do it from anywhere. And if it does get too much and if I feel like, oh, I'm not feeling good about myself or I'm feeling icky, I'll just get a manager, get somebody to like answer the messages for you for a couple weeks. Take a break, take some time off. Or if you feel like your boundaries are being tested, just say, okay, well, I'm not going to take my clothes off. I'm only going to show this much. I'm only going to show the ankles. I'm only going to show the feet. Or, I'll only do topless. Like you have the final say of what you put out there. And so you just have to set boundaries to your fans. Let them know this is not the kind of content I want to do. This is only bikini. This is not porn. This is a paid experience with me. You
Mm.
want to connect with me and chat with me in a way that you can't on Instagram? Well,
Mm.
subscribe.
Where do you get your confidence from?
Oh man, I'm a really confident person, to be honest. I am very insecure. I'm always doubting myself
Really?
and I'm always thinking I'm not, doing good enough and that I look at other people on social media and I think, oh, they're doing so much better than me. What am I doing wrong? I'm lame. I fell off. I suck. Like I have the same thoughts that anybody else does, right? And I realize that like all content creators feel that way. And the only way to overcome that is just to say, no, thoughts, fuck you, and just keep doing, keep pushing what you want to do, keep doing what excites you and makes you happy. And, failure is just a part of the journey.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good. It's crazy to hear someone like you say that you are insecure in any way. And maybe the question I should have asked is where do you get your business confidence? Because you've launched Unfiltered, which by the way is going head to head with OnlyFans. You've now partnered with Hustler, which a huge brand for years. Okay, where do you get your business confidence? And then I want you to tell us about what Unfiltered is.
Yeah. So business confidence, like I've never worked on a corporate level in my life before. I just worked for myself, I ran my own brand. So now to be the CEO of a big company and to be partnered with an even more massive company, it was very scary at first. But I realized that like everybody's just faking it till they make it. Everybody's just showing up and
Isn't that the
doing the best
truth?
they can, So like really just like fake it till you make it. And if you don't know something, just pretend you do. And eventually you'll figure it out. Like go in the corner and Google it. you know?
Wow. Okay. Okay. So This is great advice. I love things like this because I think so many people feel like, oh, fuck, how can I start a business? I mean, like I even myself, right, that has this super successful podcast. It's like where to go next, what to do. You think all these people are smarter than you. I mean, did you have a business degree? Did you? None.
No, I dropped out of college. And really, it's not about intellect. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's just about being the person who's most consistent and the hardest working person. Because so
Love that.
many, influencers, reality TV stars have really big, big dreams, but they never do it because they don't have that, like, wake up and hustle type of attitude. And so it's really the hardest working people that become the most successful. And if you sprinkle in a little bit of creativity with that hard work, then you have the recipe for success. But you could be dumb as shit and still,
It's
and
terrific.
still be super successful. I don't think I'm the smartest person. I think that I just work really hard.
Okay, what is Unfiltered and how'd you start it?
So in August 2021, OnlyFans had made a temporary decision to ban explicit content. And they reversed that decision. But in that time frame, I was like, okay, I'm sick and tired of platforms telling me what I can and can't do and pushing me around. And I want to create a place that's a safe space for all types of creators where they don't have to fear their content being removed at a moment's notice. And I was also really tired of the features on OnlyFans. I mean, they're good features, but I wanted more. I wanted more features to help me make money and connect on a more personal level with my fans. So I started working with my team of developers on Unfiltered, and it's basically like the brainchild of me and my network of content creator friends. I basically asked my friends, I was like, what kind of features do you guys want? Like what's missing on OnlyFans? What do you think will help you make more money and
Wow.
make content creation a more enjoyable experience for you? So we developed this platform that is a multi-subscription level model. So you're able to have multiple subscription packages for your fans, but people can still follow you for free and see some free previews on your page. The whole entire platform is super easy to understand, easy to learn how to use. It's not overly complicated like other fan subscription platforms. And some of the really cool features are like a booking tool. So if somebody wants to book a video or voice call with you, they can book in advance based on your availability. There's an auction feature, so you can auction off like a virtual date or like a phone call with someone. And yeah, I mean, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. I could go on forever about Unfiltered, but
Wow.
really it's just a safe space for content creators. And we have a lot of 90-Day Fiancé people on there.
Do you?
We
Anyone
do.
you can shout out, like any names you can share?
Of course, yeah. I mean, Larissa, she was there from the beginning. She's one of the founding creators. I love her. She's always been super supportive. I've met her in person a few times at the Hustler Club in Vegas, and she's really great. She's a great creator. She's been on now for almost 2 years. And then we
Wow.
have who else? Who else? We had Ariella and Binyam
Yep.
not unfiltered. And then I think we also have some people who'd rather it be kept secret. But that's
Sure.
what's good about Unfiltered is it's a little bit more discreet than OnlyFans. It doesn't carry that like label and stigma that OF does.
So you've been building this for a couple of years. I love it. You're like, I'm no business wizard, but I mean, did Hustler approach you? How did you do this big brand deal with someone you say that, you're not like a wizard at business. I don't know if I totally believe
Yeah.
that, but
No, but like seriously,
yeah.
it was really crazy. It was like a full circle moment. When I was in the midst of that fart jar PR stunt and I was on the news everywhere, I actually was reached out to by an events organizer for Hustler. And he said, would you like to come to the Hustler Club in New York and like hand out fart jars and do a meet and greet? So I said, yeah, sure. I went to the club. At this point, I'd already started Unfiltered, and I'm looking around the club and I'm thinking, wow, this is so much potential. There's so much potential here to partner with this company because I'm sure a lot of these entertainers are on OnlyFans. And wouldn't it be cool if they had their own dedicated platform that supported them in every way, helped them
Genius.
create content, and, just offered more incentives than OnlyFans does? And also, the clubs can be business accounts on Unfiltered. Instead of having an Instagram page where they're sharing photos of their specials and their deals, they can bring that over to Unfiltered, which is safer because they're not going to get banned for posting the things that they want to post on Instagram. So I came up with this idea with my co-founder. And then after the Fart Jar event, since I already had that contact within Hustler, I said, hey, can I set up a meeting with the CEO? And I first had a meeting with a regional manager of like a bunch of the clubs. I gave them the idea. I had a whole pitch. We did a whole speech. And then a few months went by and we got an email that the CEO wants to sit down and talk to us. And then we did the pitch again. And that's kind of when the ball started rolling. And a year later, we officially partnered up.
Were you worried they were going to steal your idea? Just do it on their own?
No, because I think that they are a brick and mortar company that is very good at what they do, which is live in-person entertainment. And we specialize in digital. So, bring somebody in that specializes in this instead of trying to do it on your own. Because there were some other clubs in the past that tried to go digital and go online, and they weren't very successful at it. So really, this is like a very harmonious partnership. Like, we want to bring them into the digital world, but we also want to embrace the live entertainment aspect of what they do because we see so much potential with the both coming together. For example, a lot of the clubs do live events and feature events with performers, but they can live stream them now also on Unfiltered. So it's pretty cool.
For the woman listening, all my women, I have mostly all women and gay men and a few straight guys.
Woo!
But,
Yeah.
for people listening with a business idea, with a show pitch, I mean, do you tell them you just it was your chutzpah. I mean, I guess you just what do you recommend? Just DM people, put it out there and pitch, take a risk. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Message people that are within a network of someone that you want to reach to that seems like really high up that oh, I don't think I could get a hold of that person. Well, find out who their coffee person is. Find out who their, assistant is and get in through there and really just don't be afraid to bug people. That's something I learned 2 years ago is be aggressive, email people, follow up. Don't just say, oh, they didn't message me back. They must not be interested. Bye. You have to be kind of like the Terminator to be relentless.
Now that you've partnered with Hustler, with Unfiltered, I mean, OnlyFans has to be valued at, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars. What do you see your company valued at now that you've partnered with Hustler?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the exact number, but it's a lot more than people would expect. And so I'm really, really proud of that because we are a pretty new company in the grand scheme of things. And, it gives me a sense of pride, I guess, even though I'm insecure and sometimes self-doubting. It is cool that I helped build something that is worth something and that is also a source of income for myself and for tens of thousands of other people. And so that's why I get a lot of satisfaction, I guess, when people online who don't know what I'm doing or don't know anything about me will say, oh, get a real job. All you do is fart in jars. You're a loser. And it's just you don't even know what I really do, so
you're believe. I mean, I don't know. My spidey senses says that this is already worth 25 million, but I don't know. Is that right? You think more? Oh, okay. All right. We're 25. We'll take 25 million. Yeah, no, you're just like I said. I've been a fan of yours and watching you, and I'm like, oh, this woman is a businesswoman, like very few people are. Do you ever get the sense that Larry Flint's ghost wants to fuck you? Does he ever come back? I mean, you're saving Hustler.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think if he met me, he would like me though, because they loved doing crazy, outlandish PR stunts.
Yes.
They love weird shit. And I think that's why it's such a good relationship between us, the two companies, because we both like doing weird stuff. I think it was in March of last year, they hosted Michigan's Prettiest Butthole contest. And they had me come on as a guest judge. And I was like, this is amazing. I love that I'm going on a business trip to Lansing, Michigan with my company to judge a butthole contest.
Wait, who won? What was so pretty about their butthole? God, my
Let me
asshole.
tell
It
you,
needs so
it's not
much
good.
work. I mean,
Why?
it's like well, first of all, it's a long story, but well, actually, you'll appreciate this. I have hemorrhoids, so it's like I don't usually do a Brazilian wax because it just irritates that area. So first of all, I'm not getting the full wax, so there
No.
some rogue hairs? Yeah, probably.
Oh no, girl, it's funny that you mentioned the hemis because I had a hemorrhoid problem too. Like really bad. I had to get them like
You
snipped
did?
off.
Oh my God, I've
Yeah.
had an anal fissure. Like, I don't even do butt
Oh,
sex. I don't because I
yeah.
had a gastro guy tell me, he's like, you have a delicate asshole. He's like, if you put stuff in here, he's like, I like, you need to be very careful. It's
Yeah.
hereditary. Like, my family has all kinds of gastro, they have diverticulitis. So he's like, let me give you a
Oh
piece of
no.
advice. People come in here with glass bottles in their assholes. I do not want to see you back here. It's an outshoot for you. Okay, that's what he told me. So I don't play now. I'm like, stay away from my butthole.
Yeah. I can relate on such a personal level to that. And it's hard. People don't understand how hard it is to deal with that.
Oh,
Because
they're
also it affects
painful.
your self-esteem too, you know? That's why, like in single life, I was like, I always wonder if they're looking at my beehole when we're doing it from behind. And like what I didn't say is that like the reason why I think that is because I like had hemorrhoids. So like
Oh, you
you
had to have
know,
you had to actually have the surgery, or were yours bad
yeah.
because of your autoimmune or your?
Yeah, I am on cyclosporin still. I'm coming off of it, but it's basically a medication that can give you really bad diarrhea.
Oh,
And so I had like literally diarrhea for like 3 years straight. I don't think I pooped solid once that whole 3 years. And like constant diarrhea will give you hemorrhoids. So that's what happened to me. And, this was also why I was celibate for 3 years because I felt so like gross about myself. I went from being a perfectly healthy 26, 27-year-old girl, and all of a sudden I'm like, I have hemorrhoids. I thought only old people get that. you know,
no.
but no, but it's normal. But I was so in my head about it that I didn't want anybody touching me because I was like, I'm fucking gross. Plus, I had warts on my foot because I had a low immune system. So I was just like, I was a hot mess.
I went through a period where I had warts. Girl, we are living the same simultaneous autoimmune
What's
life.
going what's going on? This is fucked up.
They're so gross.
Yeah, seriously. If you need help with the warts, though, I have some like Chinese remedy stuff that I found online.
I went to an
It works.
acupuncturist and they started doing their stuff and having me drink the teas. And then I think within a year or something, they cleared up, but they were like, it's stress and autoimmune induced. And then once I got rid of that stress, I've never had them again because it was weird. I'd never had warts before, but I had a circle wart. It was a whole thing. Look, I could talk to you for 2 hours. You have to come back. You're so fascinating. But wait, what is your one piece of advice for me? I mean, would you recommend that I try this foot fetish model while pregnant? Do you think I could really make $1 million? And what would I have to do?
I definitely think that there is a lot of potential there. I think that a lot of people are trying to sell feet pics online. They just think that they could take a picture of their foot and post it and make money. But it's not about the foot. It's about the person and their story. And I think you have a
Mm,
really good personality. You have a great story. I think the pregnancy adds a little extra something.
mm-hmm.
So I think it's a winning formula. You have to do it, but like if you do it, you have to promote it, unfortunately, which means that you'd have to post it on your social media, and people might not respond very well to it, but who gives a fuck?
Okay. Well, I don't care. I'm with you. I don't care. I think that people, as long as they're healthy, they're not hurting themselves. They're doing it with, what I appreciate about you and your line of sex work, or, however you describe it, is I feel like you get it in a bigger capacity. That's what I wish for people, and not
Yeah.
everybody has that business mind. And a lot of people are good employees and not good bosses, because I'm sure you have a lot more drama and struggle being a CEO than what you're even letting on. So
Oh yeah.
but I always think you got to save your money. You got to make it worth it if you're gonna do something that people have a lot of judgment about.
Yeah, I mean, I took all of the money that I made throughout my years of being on fan subscription platforms. I bought a home. I invested in my company. I helped build this company with that money that I made. So yeah, while I can be stupid with money and spend it on like stupid stuff like cars and clothes, I did make sure to set aside some of it that's going to really help me in my future, because I know that maybe it's not forever. I mean, maybe it could be forever. There's granny porn, but like, you know.
I think it's forever now. I really do. I mean,
Yeah.
I moved to Hollywood 2 years ago, and that's one of the things I tell people on this podcast is actually what LA did, because I think there's this conception that, fame is for young people and Hollywood. When I moved here, people are working at all ages in every capacity of Hollywood, as producers, on air, as writers of music, as sex workers. I mean, for me, because I always had that like, oh, fuck, if I don't make it by the time I'm 40, I'm done. And I'm like, Sarah, you're just going to be famous at 52. Like now it's like,
I love that.
I do. I want
That's so good.
I really want to make the Sarah Fraser show. And actually, I'm going to talk to you about bringing it to Unfiltered, because I want to start having more just, kind of X-rated conversations and things like that. And, as you know, these social media platforms, YouTube, they're getting TikTok. I mean, TikTok, you can hardly even, you can't even say sexually assaulted on TikTok without getting banned, So it's like, I want to have these real conversations. I think I want to start, creating the Sarah Fraser show as a wild talk show, like Jerry Springer meets Oprah Winfrey. And yeah, I need a place to put it.
I love that. I mean, I could definitely see it being a part of Unfiltered. We've actually toyed with the idea of like having some like flagship shows, kind of like how Netflix has their, like Stranger Things and other Netflix originals, having like Unfiltered originals. So that would be pretty cool.
I'm going to pitch to you, because there is nobody doing the wild days of talk shows when, you used to have on the guy that was sleeping with, all of his stepsisters and had impregnated them all. And then they were sleeping with the mom. And
What?
they all come on. They all come on and yell. And then we have a bodyguard. We need
that. I want that. Oh, hell yeah.
Bring it back, so you and I will
and
definitely...
you have a really, really good podcast voice. Like me, my voice is like nails on a chalkboard, but you have like, oh my gosh, you have such a good voice. I'm jealous of your voice.
And maybe I just do custom phone sex, conversations.
Yeah, or I don't know. Honestly, though, you should be really proud of yourself, because I think, you're you're a very beautiful woman, but you also have a great personality and a great voice, and you're a great interviewer. And like, you didn't have to show anything. And like, you have the engagement, you have, the following, and you have success. So maybe you don't have to show your feet, maybe just like keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing great.
Well, I've always been drawn to that. It's always been a part of my show. And I've always, like I said, I've always been a little curious about that world. And, Howard Stern, when he was on E!, that used to be my favorite show. And they do anal baloney ring toss. I mean, maybe I just do these games that,
for sure.
Bring back the sex stuff. But wait, one of the things I think is fascinating for people right now, you are like offering, you're kind of showing people the playbook of how to make money on Unfiltered. Isn't that right? Like they can sign up on your Instagram?
Yeah, so I developed a course. I've been asked like literally every single week I get a message in my DMs like, can you teach me how to do what you do? And so I was like, okay, well, this is another business idea. I guess I can develop a course. And I thought I was going to like be able to just like do it in a couple weeks, but this course took me like months and months to develop, because like there's like 10 years worth of everything I've learned in this course. And also I had to make it understandable and not just like, my ADHD thoughts like dumped into a video. So yeah, I created a course. There's different types of courses that are a part of the course. Like there's the full course, but then if people want to schedule like a coaching session with me where I kind of tell them how they can optimize their socials or their fan page. And then I have an ebook that is also like a little starter guide for spicy content creators. I always like helping people, because I feel like it's rewarding to know that like, okay, now I'm the reason why this person like makes an extra couple grand or 10 grand a month. And, it opens up so many more possibilities for them in their lives. And, this industry, it's like, it's pretty supportive. Like spicy adult content creators are some of the coolest people. And
look, if I had a bakery, I would pay for a course with you, because you're the way that you market. It's like my friend David Yontef. He has a Bravo podcast. He's like you. to get access to somebody like you and come up with ideas for an existing business or idea, it's thought provoking. It really is. So I would imagine you could market ice to Eskimos.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had some like marketing and strategy calls with like other 90 Day Fiancé cast members. There was one that I kind of took under my wing and got them like a gig at Hustler and like a meet and greet with them. So, I like helping everybody. Like, you don't have to be in the spicy content industry. Like, you could just be somebody who's trying to like go viral. Do you need like a crazy viral idea? I can cook something up for you.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, you're so good at it. The book is Empty Blood. People can order that through your Instagram. They can also sign up for the Unfiltered course. You kind of gave us a little bit of a teaser, but what in Empty Blood are we going to find out? It's really your life story, your memoir.
Yeah, so you'll find out about my relationship prior to going to Australia to meet Erica.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had dated another Australian before I met her. And so there's a lot of that in the book. I also touch a little bit on what exactly happened in Australia. And then the last chapter is dedicated to finally revealing what happened with the fart jars.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's really more to the story. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot about my illness, aplastic anemia. Wow. Aplastic anemia. I talk about how I was diagnosed and how my life changed after that. And it's nice to be publishing it now because literally today's the 26th. In 4 days, I'm going to the National Institute of Health. I'm part of a research trial for my illness. And I've been on this trial for 5 years. And in 4 days is the conclusion of that study. They're doing the final bone marrow biopsy and releasing me. And I'm no longer going to have to take my immunosuppressant medication. And I'm fully in remission. So it's pretty cool.
Oh my God, the best news ever. I always say, your health is number one. If you don't have your health, what do you have? Because all these other successes mean nothing. I mean, you've really lived through pain and suffering and, hemorrhoid surgery a lot, and you've prevailed.
That was the worst. That was the worst.
I know. Butt surgery, anal fissures. Really are the worst. The worst. They're so painful. Stephanie Matto, thank you so much. People need to follow you online, take the course. I think I'm going to take Unfiltered. I think it's so fascinating what you're doing.
Let's do it. Let's schedule a meeting. I want to hear your pitch.
I'll pitch the talk show.
Let's do it.
I'll tell you everything.
I love it.
All right.
Oh, I'm dead serious.
Me too. Me freaking too. I know it's happening. I love you. All right, gorgeous. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.